I have the input clutch drum here, and I want to show you a piston. This is the piston that goes down all the way in the bottom of this drum. This is a piston that you need to pay attention to when you are rebuilding this transmission, because what happens is this piston, the middle part of it, rides around the edge of this drum here. When it does that, it grooves out. Okay, let's see if you can see. You can see this is clear, but if you go around, you start to see a ridge right there. You're going to see that this ridge right here. Okay, now that's a gouge. Let's see, put it up a bit where you could possibly see it. It's a gouge right there. I don't know if this light is helping or not, but right there. Okay, now you can try to sand this out. Now if you got a round circle like this is, and when you sand, you only make it oblong a little bit as you start to sand it out. I'll show you what I mean. But what this started to do, this seal rides right there. But what it does, this part here starts to tear the seal up. And if you can look at this seal here, see where I can see where it was tearing it, chewing up the edge of it up. Alright, see if you can see this little rubber right here. The edge of it is getting chewed up right here. Some of them get cut. Some of them become cut, and it's that ridge that cuts it. So you have to pay attention to that. Here's one right here, and I'm going to see if you can see the inside of this groove here. You can probably see that groove right there. And there's on it in my finger is a piece of the rubber that was cut off, and here's the rubber right here that's destroyed. You can see that. Why? Because as this rubs up and as it moves up and down, it goes against that ridge and it cuts it. Okay. Alright, now you probably can see that ridge a little better right there. Right here, that's the ridge there. Okay. So you have to pay attention to this. This thing costs about $30. Now, if you can sand it back to a smooth surface without over sanding it, then you can probably reuse this drum, because in the kit the lips seals are a little wider. That comes in the kit. Okay, but when you're sanding, and I'm going to show you what I mean. If you're going to sand this drum, what you would be doing is taking some sandpaper and going the inside like this, trying to sand this smooth. But let me tell you what you're actually doing when you do that. You have a circle here. And that's supposed to be a circle. It's supposed to be the inside. Well, let me try that. Okay, I use this. Make a better circle. Alright, that's a circle there. Okay, so when you're sanding the inside of this circle, don't worry about this circle. Here, what you're actually doing is you're sanding it and you're making that circle kind of oblong like that, because you're only sanding the bad back to the good, but you are making it oblong when you sand it. So you must make sure that when you sand it, you're not sanding so much, because you will create a leak right there. The seal is round. You have to just sand, you know, maybe a little, just to try to see if you can get that edge out. But if you can't get it out, then you have to throw this away and buy a new one, or get a good used one, and hopefully somebody didn't sand it back, and then you'll be messed up. But this is another drum that you have to pay attention to. Most all the time I see this gouge inside this drum, so I either have to sand it back a little bit, not too much, so sand it back a little bit, or get another one and put it in. Okay, so that's something that you have to consider once again when rebuilding this 4T65E transmission.